At approximately 2:58 p.m. on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, Trooper Tyler Riles spotted a white Ford F-250 traveling northbound on Highway 107, JFK Boulevard. While observing the vehicle, Trooper Riles noticed that the truck was driving in the wrong lane and repeatedly crossing the center dividing line. As he approached, he identified the F-250 as displaying Arkansas commercial license plate C117578. As the truck approached the intersection of McCain Boulevard, it entered the left turn lane and then turned into the Hobby Lobby parking lot. Trooper Riles immediately activated his emergency equipment to initiate a traffic stop. Trooper David Calvert quickly arrived behind him to provide assistance. However, just as the officers were preparing to approach, the driver suddenly accelerated away from the parking lot, turning left back onto Highway 107 northbound. Trooper Calvert took the position behind the vehicle and began assisting with radio communications.
Goes on JFK, 5500 ball.
Coming up to Curie, speed 70. Clear. 3 Little Rock, I'm
3 Temple.
55 Little Rock, we're still north on JFK, passing Curie, speed 70. Light traffic, but they are yielding.
10-4.
North on JFK, passing Pontiac, he's switching back.
The driver, later identified as Zachary Brinson, continued accelerating and changing lanes in an extremely dangerous manner, reaching speeds of more than 100 miles per hour while showing little regard for the safety of other motorists or surrounding property. To avoid congestion in the northbound lanes, Brinson repeatedly drove into turn lanes and even into lanes designated for oncoming traffic. He then slowed down and turned left onto North Hills Boulevard, entering the parking lot of Centennial Bank before returning to Highway 107 by cutting across traffic, traveling in the opposite direction.
North on 107.
Still north on 107, speed 60, light traffic. If you could go ahead and notify Sherwood.
10-4.
Passing Country Club, north on 107, speed 100. Traffic is light, but they are yielding. Still north on 107, passing Keel. Speed's going to be 85. Light traffic, but are yielding. He is. North on 107, passing Maryland.
Has Maryland. Vehicle.
It's going to be a white Ford F-250.
10-4.
Still north on 107, coming up to Brockington. Speed's 80, light traffic.
10-4 north on 107, Brockington, speed 80.
405, sir. 58's going to be primary. He's working on it right now. We got a straightaway right now in light traffic, 405. Still north on 107. Speeds 100, light traffic.
The pursuit continued northbound on Highway 107. Brinson ran multiple red lights, maintained a high rate of speed, and continued driving in an extremely dangerous manner. After passing Brockington Road, traffic began to thin out slightly. Trooper Riles began evaluating an opportunity to perform a tactical vehicle intervention, TVI, to bring the pursuit to a safe end. However, Brinson repeatedly swerved and intentionally cut in front of the patrol vehicle, preventing Trooper Riles from safely executing the TVI.
Northbound on 107, passing Jacksonville cut off speed, so he's monitored traffic, however, they are yielding. He's weaving in and out if he could notify county.
10-4.
Looks like Sherman has spikes out of it in effect. It's still north on 107, coming up to Gravel Ridge, speed 90, light traffic.
10-4.
Still north on 107, coming up to Stonehenge, speed 90, light traffic. He's leaving it out of traffic. 58 7 for TVI.
After passing General Samuels Road, the roadway narrowed to just 2 lanes. Brinson continued passing vehicles by crossing the double yellow lines and entering the oncoming lane, including around blind curves and over hilltops.
Still north on that foot.
10-4.
Still north on 107, coming up Aviator Drive, speed 95.
10-4.
Back out, Airport Station 107, Airport Station 107.
Wrecked out, Airport Station 107, Airport Station 107.
Airport Station 107, let's go.
The F-250 nearly collided with a white Jeep Wrangler that was leaving the airbase and traveling westbound on Arnold Drive. Shortly afterward, Brinson crashed through and destroyed a chain-link gate, then continued into a concrete barrier, breaking apart the concrete and rendering the truck disabled. Brinson immediately exited the vehicle and fled on foot, leaving the crash scene behind. Trooper Riles observed that Brinson was not holding anything in his hands and had nothing suspicious visible around his waistband. He holstered his firearm and immediately began pursuing the suspect on foot.
Stand up and walk.
During the foot pursuit, Trooper Riles deployed a conducted electrical weapon to stop Brinson. After being taken into custody, Zachary Brinson was transported to Baptist Medical Center in Little Rock for a medical evaluation. Brinson reported that he was experiencing back pain from the crash. After being examined by a doctor and cleared for release, Brinson was transported to the Pulaski County Detention Center. There he was booked under a post-prison transfer board warrant and continued to face additional charges stemming from the pursuit. Fortunately, although Brinson had traveled at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, repeatedly entered lanes of oncoming traffic, and caused another vehicle to leave the roadway and enter a ditch to avoid a collision, the incident ultimately ended after the F-250 was disabled and the suspect was taken into custody. No injuries to any other individuals were reported in the incident. The patrol vehicle spotted a man riding a large displacement motorcycle speeding and activated its siren and emergency lights to order him to stop. However, the motorcycle rider refused to comply and continued accelerating along the two-lane road. From the very beginning, the motorcycle rider made a serious mistake by deliberately ignoring the emergency signals. His actions turned what initially appeared to be a routine traffic violation into an act of fleeing from law enforcement.
Circle passing on double yellow. '76 and a 45. 27 million.
Police continued the high-speed pursuit along a narrow, rural road. Throughout this stretch, multiple vehicles were traveling in the opposite direction. The motorcycle suspect repeatedly made dangerous passes, narrowly avoiding oncoming traffic.
To the next side road.
Hit a 35. Yeah, call clears for a nail.
Arkansas 045 David Ocean. 045 David Ocean. Stopping 3.
Police closed in behind the motorcycle and activated their sirens and emergency lights, ordering the rider to stop immediately. Realizing he could no longer escape, the suspect pulled onto the right shoulder, where the motorcycle fell into the grassy area. Police did not use a pit maneuver in this situation, as attempting a pit on a two-wheeled motorcycle is extremely dangerous and could result in fatal injuries to the rider. Instead, officers chose to stay close behind and apply pressure until the suspect voluntarily pulled over and stopped.
Fucking hand off! I didn't know you were! You scared me! You scared me, sir! Give me your hand! Sir, I didn't Give me your hand! You Give me your hand! Oh, you scared me! You scared me, sir! I didn't do nothing wrong! I didn't do nothing wrong! I didn't do nothing wrong, sir! Roll over! I didn't do nothing wrong, sir! Get your knees in!
The suspect broke down crying and repeatedly tried to explain himself, saying, "I didn't know you were a police officer." However, the excuse was unconvincing, as the patrol vehicle had its emergency lights and siren activated throughout the pursuit. His panicked reaction and tears appeared to reflect the suspect's psychological collapse after his reckless actions had finally come to an end. The pursuit ended safely, with no collisions or crashes involving other motorists or nearby members of the public.
I ain't been in trouble in a long time. Then why the hell are you running? Because I didn't know you was a fucking cop. I didn't know you was a fucking cop. Didn't know I was a cop. No.
On May 3, 2023, Trooper A. Escamilla was patrolling eastbound on Interstate 40 near mile marker 157 when he spotted a black motorcycle traveling in lane 2 at a significantly higher speed than the surrounding traffic. Trooper Escamilla noticed that the motorcycle did not have a license plate. As he moved closer, he identified the rider as a white male wearing overalls and a black helmet. Trooper Escamilla initiated a traffic stop near mile marker 158. However, the rider, later identified as Chad Guess, suddenly made an improper lane change into lane 1 and accelerated away. Trooper Escamilla immediately notified dispatch that he was in pursuit of the motorcycle.
It's going to be 1037. We're going to be 1037. Getting ready to get on 440 East. So you might be losing it here shortly. Just got on 440 East, no traffic, speeds are 70.
440 East, no traffic, speed 70.
Unknown right.
And we're on the right.
took the 12.
Chad Guest continued fleeing and operated the motorcycle recklessly through several areas of Pulaski County. Guest entered Interstate 440 East and continued to mile marker 12 before exiting the interstate and traveling southbound on Highway 161. He then returned to Interstate 40 West, continuing at a high rate of speed and driving dangerously, including traveling through an active construction zone where workers were present.
South on 161 in Sunset, speeds 80. No traffic. Notify Pulaski County. Highway 161 in Indigo Lane, speeds 80. Coming up to Trammell, speeds 90. Continuing south on Highway 161, speeds 80. We're going to be approaching 40 here shortly. Still south on Highway 161 near Lindsay, speeds 90. No traffic. Highway 161, Wayne Street, speeds 90, no traffic. As slow as he's driving it, we might be able to bump him in or something and get him on the roadway. Just past Fairfax, speeds 80, still south on 161. He's gonna be a white man, white shirt.
I'm not back here at Harrisville, and we're trying to catch up with you.
We're getting ready to get on 40 West. Just got on 40 West, approaching Spring Hill, speed 70.
Guests reached speeds of up to 115 miles per hour in an area with a posted speed limit of only 50 miles per hour. He then continued onto Interstate 30 West before returning to Interstate 440 East. Once on Interstate 440 East, Guests repeatedly swerved across all lanes of traffic, including the right shoulder. He passed multiple vehicles by driving along the right shoulder. Guests then exited the interstate at Lindsay Road. Trooper Escamilla moved ahead of the motorcycle on the left in an attempt to prevent Guests from re-entering the interstate and slow him down.
Speed 70, correction speed 80, past the big church. 30 west. Yep, we're gonna be 30 west. 30 west.
Take a 30 west.
30 west. Speeds 90. Light traffic.
30 west now, speed 90 like that.
Approaching from the sights. Speed 70.
Like speed 70. Are you with her? 42 secondary, I'll call it. 30 west, coming up the Broadway, middle lane, speed 100. Coming up the Broadway, west now, speed 100, middle lane. Middle lane, speed 120, coming up the Broadway. Coming up the Broadway, speed 120. Approaching 9th Street, second middle lane, speed 110. Speed 110, approaching 9th middle lane. And pass, speed on at 630, right lane, speed 110. 630 right lane, please up there. Thanks, you get it. If we get a couple up there, we'll try to box. Just be careful with those speeds. 4264, coming up to Roosevelt. Just past Roosevelt, speed 120. 28, I'll take over. I'll call it. Approaching 30 west, about 30. Speed 100. Approaching the south interstate. Laying up the traffic. We're going to go 440 east. So past one car, speed 70. Take a 440 speed 70 past one car. Still light traffic, we're just getting on 440 east, speed 75. Remember, middle lane, speed 110, past the Springer. Speed 110, past the Springer. Light to medium traffic, center lane, speed 109.
28, I'm gonna try to get to my...
Alright, I'm still number 3, so 42 is right behind me. Speed 515, center lane, 440 east, approaching the airport. Center lane, speed 115, 440. Went around an 18-wheeler on the right shoulder, past the bankhead, speed 100. Past the bankhead, speed 100.
doesn't have a backpack or nothing, so I can't see any weapons, just physical.
Just check the four, check the four.
When Trooper Escamilla pulled alongside the motorcycle, Guess attempted to pass the patrol vehicle and struck the passenger side door area of the police vehicle. The impact threw Guess from the motorcycle, sending him onto the roadway in front of the patrol vehicle. However, Guess quickly got back on his feet and continued fleeing toward a wooded area. Trooper Escamilla exited the patrol vehicle and ordered Guess to get on the ground. Guess refused to comply and reached his right hand inside his overalls. Because Guess's hand was concealed and he had his back turned toward the trooper, Trooper Escamilla deployed a conducted energy weapon, CEW. Both probes from the CEW cartridge struck the area just above Guess's waistband, in the center of his back, temporarily incapacitating him. Guess was then handcuffed and taken into custody without further incident or injury. The intense pursuit finally came to an end when the suspect was subdued and taken into custody. Chad Guess subsequently faced felony fleeing, obstructing governmental operations, and multiple traffic-related charges. Fortunately, although Guess reached speeds of up to 115 miles per hour in a 50 miles per hour zone, traveled through an active construction area, and repeatedly attempted to evade law enforcement, the pursuit ultimately ended with the suspect being apprehended without any further injuries reported.